Hello, hello. Welcome back to Unapologetically Wild with me, Katie Sontag. I am so excited for this week's episode. It has been such an intriguing time for me. And why I want to talk about this is because I just came off a 4-day training. So I've done my Light Codes accreditation, my Cert 1 and Cert 2. And then the beautiful Natalie asked me if I wanted to come back and just sit in Light Codes 1 and be with the beautiful energy and the new things she's learned as she's obviously upgraded. As we grow, we upgrade our programs, right? And we upgrade what we teach because it's like through that lived experience, we get to teach more. And it's so beautiful. And I absolutely love this because it's so beautiful to see people evolve, but also to see yourself evolve. From when I first did it and when it was foreign to me, right, to be light coding, to be light languaging, to be doing all these things, where now it's like weird to not talk about, spirits and energies and get messages and downloads and go with them or sometimes ignore them, which my guides hate. I think they just look at me and they're like, are you joking? You're ignoring me again. They're like, okay, we'll just wait. And so it's so interesting and so relevant for, this podcast today because I want to talk into light language. I want to talk into about how, many people started out with Reiki. So if we talk about energy, energy is really potent. And what happens is healings is you call upon your guides, the universe, all the people, right, to help you with protecting the energy and making sure it's pure and you can upgrade someone's DNA and energy. It's fucking cool. And Reiki is, where you get to allow yourself to channel that energy into your pans. And if you're a hot healer or a cold healer, that's completely, everyone's different. There's a lot more hot healers I find than cold healers, but it normally means that you heat up when you heal. And so when you place your hands on someone or near them, the energy that's coming through the universe, through your body as the vessel and healing anything they need physically, mentally, spiritually, like it's allowing you to unblock the chakras because we can have blocked chakras, right? Some people don't speak their voice, so then they have blocked, throat chakra. Some people don't use their power, so then their sacral is blocked and then it's like they struggle and they like have these, moments where they just can't seem to get it out on what they want to say. Obviously, then with the throat chakra, a lot of it for women is all about the throat chakra. That is normally the biggest one to allow and move through the energy. And so you clear all the chakras when you first move through it, and then you allow yourself to clear the aura. So the layers of the aura, the 7 layers, and it's going through each layer and allowing it to be clear so that when you walk through the world, you're in this beautiful, all your layers are clean and clear and you get to be in this beautiful high vibration. And so you start attracting and magnetizing the beautiful things to you, right? And when you live in this beautiful vibration, you attract people and things into your life that actually meet you in that vibration. So it's such a beautiful thing. And to go back over it and to really solidify a lot of learning, but also to be the learner again, right? I haven't done a lot of workshops or anything recently. So it was a really beautiful piece to come into, like remembering that, we receive through the back of our chakras and we, allow the energy to move through the front. So if there's a block in the chakra, then it means that we're not receiving or we're not actually allowing ourselves to give. And so it's a beautiful balance between that, right? And it's honoring what each one of them mean, like the root chakra being safety and security. And then, if you're not feeling safe or secure, then we get to clear and remove anything that's blocking you there. And then it's going back on timelines and going back into your past lives, what has happened there, your ancestral lineage, like how do we get to clear what they went through and what you're holding from that, so that you get to move forward in your power and you get to step into truly what you get to be in this life and how do you get to lead differently and live differently. And it's so beautiful because, some of my clients go into Egyptian timelines and like, cats will appear or different like signs and synchronicities and their guides will come in and sometimes they'll see them and feel them. I love activating people in light language because it's really cool because then they start doing it as well and they feel the energy and it's amazing. And allowing them to also see their guides and have their guides speak to them and give them downloads, right? Because The downloads are what help us move forward in alignment. And they can be sometimes hard to trust, or you might think, oh, this is a bit ridiculous. Like, why am I being drawn to this? And then you do it and you're like, aha, that makes sense. And I want to give you an example of that in my life right now, which is quite hilarious. But first, I just want to keep talking into light language because I'm obsessed with it. So we'll just start there and then I'll give you an example. Um, and it's like so beautiful when they get to meet their dragons and they get to meet their guides, their aliens. Sometimes we go up and we go into, psychic surgery and all these things. And it's just so much fun to allow, like, pour beautiful love and light into them. And whatever you expect as well, you receive, right? So you set your intentions, and it was really cool. Confirmation, set your intentions. I love that. So it's really cool to see how you get to honor your energy, right? And protect it and allow yourself to clear and be with whatever's happening. Because some people sometimes can put hooks and threads and all different things and they can siphon from you. They may not do it intentionally. However, it's about being able to remove that so you can keep living life. And it's almost like, I always think of it like getting a massage. Like, it's something to, your energetic hygiene is so important. And it's something to really honor for yourself because, you know, you need to go and have a healing, and then, maybe a few weeks later or a week later, depends on your massage practice. But it's like, you feel sore again from the gym, right? So an energy healing is the same. It's like we need to then look at your energetic hygiene, because you may not notice the little things that are happening, or you might just feel like your energy is depleting, or you're feeling stuck, or you have no clarity, or all these things are happening when actually you don't have the energy and space to be cleared so that you can see clearly, so that you can allow yourself to have the energy to do the things that you truly love. So it's really, really beautiful to honor your energy and protect it and really make sure that you keep on top of your energetic hygiene. And I absolutely love this because then when you activate people in it, they also get to keep on top of it too. And it means that sort of you might not want to need as many healings, or maybe not, but it also allows to go deep into the emotions and to all these pieces that we don't really see, right? And why I love this is because it brings us back into alignment with literally the universe, which is showing us the way. And the example I'm going to use right now is a beautiful message that I've kept receiving, right? Of course, my guides are like trying to bash me in the face with it. And to the point where, like, it came through, I see this gym. I've been trying to join Fitness Passport. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but anyway, I got rejected because, yeah, I put down a base and they were like, we don't take that base. So I'm going to put it again, right? But I haven't heard anything back from them. And it was like this message to join this gym. Now it's called The Yard. So it's like a chain that people will know about, I'm sure. And I'm like, oh, is that my style? Is that what I want to do? Because I'm trying to work out, like, how do I want fitness to look for me right now? Because yeah, I'm just in a new place and I get to start again. And for me, fitness is like a fun thing I do and change every 6 months, really. So I've kind of been in a gym doing bodybuilding. I was before I kind of moved here. And now I'm like, crap, what do I do? And I've been training at home, which has been good, but it's also not that, like, when you're in a session and you just really push yourself, there's something about that. It's almost like delicious. Yes, I'm sore now, but like it's delicious in the moment. And so I kept being called to go to this gym and I'm like, oh, it's going to be all these beautifully fit humans, right? That have six packs and they're killing it and they're just like, super strong. And I'm going to be like, holy crap, what am I doing here? Let's be real. Even as a physical trainer, I have these thoughts, right? Because the other part to that is they're going to ask me about my fitness history. And I hate that question because I'm like, oh, how to get around it? And sometimes I don't want to tell people I'm an army physical training instructor. However, that actually mutes the question and then I don't have to worry about it because I don't have to go into my history. And they have to ask, right? Because that's like how they duty of care. Like, it's a big thing to ask people's history. You need to know. And I just hate answering it. And so I literally was like, okay, I've literally been thinking about this gym. Like, all of a sudden, it kept just becoming this nagging thought, like this constant, like, pulling on my energy. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why do I keep thinking about this gym? Even when I hadn't seen any ads, right? And this download, like it's constantly coming through. I think my guides were like, fuck this bitch, better switch on. And so I honestly, sometimes they must sit up there and they're just like, oh my gosh, when is she going to do it? So I decided, fuck it. They have a trial, 3-day or 3 sessions, right? For $30. And I was like, okay. Because I was looking at the price of it and I was like, oh, is it worth it? Sometimes these gyms are great. Awesome because you don't have to think about what you're doing, right? And I have a girlfriend who loves them. Like she just rolls in, does what she's told, loves it, right? I've always kind of done my own thing and like had my own training. Like I've been a part of groups and stuff before. Like I've done CrossFit and all the things, but I've never stayed in them long term. They've kind of been like, again, like a 6-month turnaround, which I guess is my thing anyway. So it's perfect. And I was like, oh, is this going to be my vibe? Are they going to be my people? You know, it's always that thing, right? And then especially because I'm super conscious of who's in my sphere and how my energy is being used. And I'm like, oh, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go. Anyway, I rock up there and I realize like I've got to park like 300 meters away or whatever. And I'm like, okay, this is probably good because it gives me like time to walk in. Like it just gives me like a breathing space. And yeah, so I get in there and they're like, oh, hello, are you new? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, what's your fitness history? Like she asked a lot of other questions. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I started laughing, right? Because I'm clearly uncomfortable to say this. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Suck it up, Katie. That's literally it. And it'll shut everyone up and no one will talk to you. Not in a bad way, just in a like, I don't have to explain my whole body way. And I was like, oh, I'm an like physical training instructor. And she was like, oh my God, that's so cool. She was like, I wanted to do that. If I didn't open the gym, I would have done that. I was like, oh, cool. And now I know who the owner is. And I was like, that's really awesome. I'm like, do you love this gym? Like, and she's, you know, really cool human. And I was like, I really like her. I like her energy too. She was like, come and meet all the trainers. So I got introduced to all the trainers. And then she was like, yeah, so come meet all the trainers, all the things. And then she set me up with a girl next to a girl who was like, this is Katie. And then I met her. She was lovely. And she was like, oh, you know, you guys can do it together. And she explained the whole thing, how it works, all the pieces, right? That they warm up together. And there's 2 separate sessions. There's a strength session and a turf session. If you know, it's called Riga, I think, and turf. But if you know all about this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So they have sort of like a cardio-based session, like, and then a strength session, really. And it was just so funny because I was doing the strength session. Here I am thinking, fuck, I haven't lifted in a while. I'm probably not going to be great. And I'm holding myself back. I think I am anyway. And I'm obviously sore. So I did, but clearly my body was like, oh, we have not trained like this in a while. And I picked strength because it's a lot more my jam. Like cardio, I don't mind, but it's not really my favorite thing to do. So I was like, I'll pick strength. That's a win. And then I can just do my own thing and have my own rig, right? And so I started putting on these weights and stuff, and I looked around me and I was like, oh my gosh, people aren't putting on as much. Not in a bad way, just in the fact that they were building a bit like slower. And yeah, and I think people started looking at me and I was like, oh gosh, maybe I am not that bad, you know? And my friend had said to me, like, trust me, you'll be okay. Like, don't stress. Anyway, I decided to let it go. As it went on, I obviously realized I'd pushed a little bit at the start because I was like, strength, fuck yeah. And then at the end, I just decided that there were a few like exercises I just went lighter on because I was like, oh, you know, I've just fried my quads with my squats. So my rearward lunges are not going to be pretty. And so it was just really checking my ego and a balance of like, I get to push here and I don't get to push here. And how, you know, I haven't been in a full session in a long time. So I had to, by the end, I sort of pulled back a bit because I was like, oh, we're going to feel this tomorrow. But I loved it. It was really nice. The girl that I met was really beautiful. And I was like, this is the energy, right? Like, this is my vibe. Not everyone, obviously, in the session. I'm sure I won't be friends with everyone, but they all high-fived at the end, which was quite nice. She was like, yeah, you got to get used to that. And I was like, thanks. So I was like, oh my gosh. Not used to that, especially coming from my background. That's like not a thing. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is different. Interesting. She's obviously trying to build a community, which I find very beautiful, right? And in this time, community has become a big part of me building my business. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. So I had a good time. I left. She sent me a message, you know, when are you going to show up again? All the things, because obviously they like to keep in touch, which I find really lovely, that they were so about the person. And I think that's really beautiful. And it made me think a lot about business for me in general too. And it made me think about how I get to work on being more in connection. So a lot of the women that did the course last week, I reached out and just connected with them because I was like, I get to be better at that too. I get to be better at connecting because the people I'm really good friends with, and have deep connections with, I'm very close with, right? And sometimes for me, new connections, and I'm sure everyone can attest to this, it can just be a little bit like nerve wracking, especially when you don't know them. And I wasn't in the room, I was on Zoom. So it felt like, you bit disconnected, but it was really lovely to actually learn about what they felt and how they loved the experience. And I found it really beautiful. And so I actually loved this gym. I actually really, really enjoyed myself. And it felt fucking good to actually work out to the point of being like, holy crap, I did a workout, right? And sometimes you need to be in spaces where other people will push you because doing them at home was fine, but I wasn't really pushing myself. And also, I didn't have a lot of the equipment that I obviously used when I was there. And I was like, oh, I get to sort of like work out if this is what I want to do, if I'd like to join this particular gym or if I'd like to go somewhere else. But I found this so interesting. I had a dream not that long ago, and all you spiritual people out there will love this. I had this dream about I was going to join a gym. Well, I was going to go to a gym. And then, obviously these gyms are quite expensive, right? Which, fair enough. They have a bit of a reputation. Like it's kind of like a cool thing, so they can charge a bit more, right? And I was like, this gym's pretty cool. And I was like, I don't know if I want to pay that. Like going to a normal gym is a lot cheaper. And so I'm like, it would have to be pretty good. And I had a giggle because I had a dream about going to this gym, loving it, not wanting to pay the money, getting hired as an instructor, and then literally being able to go for free. So for all you universal people who love fucking the universe and get this, I had that dream a while ago, right? And I've been pulled to this gym. Do you know what happened when I got home from the gym? I literally logged onto Facebook, I'm going to say, or maybe it was Instagram. And all of a sudden, what came up? An ad for the fact that they're hiring casual and permanent people to work at the yard at like the one I just went to. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, the universe is literally showing me that opportunities are literally everywhere, that I could do anything, right? No matter, I'm so magnetic that everything I dream of, which we know, right? Everything I think of comes into my reality and at the high vibration because these people were high vibe. Like it felt like when I met them, they felt really clean energy. It felt really good. It felt really nice, right? Like we clicked. It was cool. It doesn't mean, I'm going to work there. It doesn't mean we're best friends. But I'm just saying is like it was a really cool exchange. It was a really good energy. And that's really important for a gym, right? And it felt welcoming and supportive and all the things. So I was like, okay, cool. This is good. And I was like, isn't that hilarious that I had that dream? And then all of a sudden that happened, right? And we're not really surprised, but we are, right? When these things happen, it's almost like, oh my gosh. And then you're like, actually, I'm not surprised. And so I just find it so interesting because, you know, these things in life, that set us up and prepare us for these moments because the dream like made this like, what the fuck, but of course, right? And my guides have been telling me this for ages to go to this gym. And there's a reason, right? And it doesn't have to be that I join it, doesn't have to be that I coach there, but it's showing me that the universe is always working out for me all the time. And I get to choose what that means, right? Like I get to follow the breadcrumbs and like completely let go of control. And that is a really hard thing to surrender and let go. But my downloads are literally taking me to the places that are going to serve me. And I think that's really important because when we think of downloads a lot of the time, we're like, some people hear them, see them, like it's all around. Like downloads are happening from your guides all the time. Like you could see a movie and something in that movie clicks and you're like, oh my God, I needed to hear that today. can watch a YouTube clip. You can literally listen to the radio and a song could come on that actually is like, oh my God, I needed that. Or, oh my God, that makes sense. Or that helps me with this thing, right? It can be like you're hearing it in your head like a thought. It can be a dream. It can be so many different things. Downloads are all around and happening all the time. So when you watch these beautiful women that I watched the last 4 days, like tap into light codes and receive the download and be able to channel the energy, because light codes is about channeling that energy and actually being able to serve the person in front of you. And that is the most beautiful thing in the world, right? To be able to channel energy to allow the person in front of you to live a more high vibe, like amazing life. And I think it's just so important that we honor that energy healing is such a big thing. I didn't really realize it until I sort of started doing it while I was in defense. But the more I have clients and I lead them through it, and I even help them lose weight, like when I do lots of energy clearing, because a lot of the time the weight is not to do with the actual vessel that we have, right? It's to do with the energetics that we're holding on to. And so it's like if we're holding on to emotions that are sitting in our body, that's going to turn up as weight, right? So we can release the emotions. My last client, I released anger, sadness, rage, all of it in one session, right? And it was so beautiful because it was like she just completely released all this weight. And then when we go and take the aligned action to go to the gym, what happens, because we've energetically cleared everything, is that we actually lose the weight. And this happened to another client of mine who was like, stuck on this same point and she couldn't seem to get past it. We did 8 weeks of energy work and then we literally put her into the holistic woman and she fucking lost the weight like that. And then she was still losing it after we did the 6-week course. So what the beautiful thing about this is it actually clears everything that's holding us back, that's dense, that's no longer serving us. And it allows us to be free up of that so that we can actually have our aligned action land and take us to the next level and magnetize these opportunities to us. Whether we take them or not is completely up to us. But this is what happens, right? And so energy is so, so important. And this is why I offer it to everyone, to, all genders, all age groups, all of the things, because I want everyone's energy from when they're a child to an adult to be clear and able to allow them to live a life where they get to be magnetic and they're not living in survival and they're not living in, burnout, but actually having the energy to channel it to what they want, right? Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Do you want your energy to flow to negative things? If you keep talking about the fact that your life is shit or you don't have this or you're stuck or all of these things, all your energy is going that way. So it's just going to keep perpetuating that situation. If you channel your energy and allow yourself to be clear and remove all the density and actually start talking about how your life is, you're blowing up, you're making millions, you're whatever your thing is, right? You're healthy, you're well, you're losing weight. You're literally going to put that into your subconscious mind and you're going to start seeing it and you're going to actually start living it and perpetuate that story. So it's really important that you honor how you speak to yourself, but it's even more important that you honor what is your energy actually being used for. And is it being taken up by a health problem? Is it being taken up by something else? And if it is, how can you actually allow yourself to clear it? How can you go and see someone who can clear it? Because the energy is what is causing you the grief. And then once you clear all the density and the things that are blocked and you allow your energy to flow and you allow yourself to be a beautiful, energetic being that is magnetic and open and free and surrender to the universe of all the opportunities and all the incredible things that are happening in your life, you'll receive. And so another thing that's just literally come into my eye is, if you're on YouTube, you'll see this, is the book that I co-authored, Rich Lady Revolution. If you've listened to, I've had both the other ladies on here. If you haven't, go and listen to the episodes that I interview Diane McKendrick and Michelle Ann Saunderson, sorry. And all these other beautiful co-authors. There's so many of them. There's like 11 of us in the book. It's beautiful. No, I haven't read it yet, but I'm so grateful to receive it. And the best thing about this too is that I get to read their stories and mine, which is so beautiful. But what happened is I got taught about boundaries the other week. If you listened to my podcast the other week, you'll remember. And I received one book, which is amazing. And I'm fucking so grateful and so excited. And then I looked back and realized in our contract we were meant to receive 10. And they've just had they've kind of outsourced for the first time, which is really exciting. But then obviously, you know, there's all those little niggly things when you first do that. It's even like when you hire someone in a job and stuff. It's all that learning and getting, you know, what's actually going to happen. So it's so beautiful because I have another 9 coming, but I got to reach out and be like, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm so grateful I received the first book. And also, I thought are we meant to get 10? Are the other 9 coming? All the beautiful things. So then they got to, you know, make it a more seamless process. So next time it's going to be amazing, right? And so we get to just flow with life. Like life gets to show us all of these skills and all of these little things that build us into the person that we become, right? So the boundaries taught me this. Listening to my downloads taught me that I get to go into a beautiful space with beautiful other fitness humans. And I get to meet new people and be a part of a community. And it's really beautiful because so is this book. It's a community, right? It's a community of people that brought this together. Like 11 people in this book came together to write about their life and experiences of being rich in every area of life. And so what I want to say is you get to be rich in energy as well. Like energy gets to be your most valuable commodity because your energy, and then if you have energy, you're more likely to look after your health, right? And then if you look after your health and your physical body, you're more likely to go and search for your purpose or your soul purpose or, you know, all of the things to connect you with spirit, God, universe, all the things. And you're going to start surrendering and allowing and seeing the signs and maybe following them a little better than me, you know, but maybe you'll have your ego come in, which I did, you know, and fight back and be like, you know, because it generally is like, no, I don't want to go pay for a gym. But the exchange of that is beautiful because you receive something greater. And so it's about looking at like, even with you talk about money in a negative way, if I don't have enough or, you know, oh, I can't afford that. You're literally again playing that out. It's like I get to invest in myself. I get to look after me. I get to invest in what's going to serve me. I don't need to understand it because a lot of the downloads I get, I don't ever fucking understand. Like even going to that certification, when it came up, I was like, oh, I've already done it. But then that was my ego, right? And then the other side of me was like, well, we get to learn new things. We get to learn new codes. We get to be curious about life and meet beautiful new women. And I would not have had that opportunity if I didn't just open myself up to it. And I got to do it on Zoom, which was amazing, right? So it's like allowing yourself to just go with the downloads because things wouldn't come to you if they weren't for you. And then when some do and you don't feel like they're right for you, honoring that. Or maybe you need to talk to someone because it's not quite exactly how, you know, all the things, right? So it's really beautiful. And today I just watched myself go from the masc and the feminine all day, right? Like allowing, receiving, you know, investing in myself and honoring the downloads, which then it's beautiful because I don't have the exact, apart from being in a beautiful community, I don't have the exact reason of why I went there. But it's amazing when you allow yourself to follow it. And it's okay if you don't follow it straight away because let's be real, we're all human and we have an ego. And the ego is not bad, but sometimes it just gets in the way for us. And you get to honor that too because sometimes that's a good thing. But sometimes it's not. And so we just get to be with the fact that none of it is good or bad. Even me going later now is not good or bad. It just means that, you know, I did it later. And that could be a reason. There could be a reason that I, you know, took so long to go there. So I think it's really cool that we just get to be with that. We get to allow our energy to take us and magnetize us to places, people and things. And we get to allow ourselves to honor our intuitive yes and no, our gut yes and no, and go with the flow of life. We don't need to control it. We don't need to know how it's going to happen. We just get to be with the energy of it. And we tap into that every day. You'll be around people who feel off or there's something going on. And as women, we're super intuitive. So if something's happening, we know. And we get to honor what that means to us and how we choose to react to that. So it's like, if we feel something's off and we need to have a conversation with someone, we just have a conversation with them, right? If we feel like something's not working, we talk about that. If we, feel pulled to go to something, we take a step anyway blindly because you know what? It's going to pay off because our guides are always literally showing us the way. And it's about us allowing ourselves to be shown and actually follow the nudges when we feel them and not think too much into it, which I know is a hard thing to do because I still do it too. But I just wanted to share that with you because I think life gets to be this beautiful ebb and flow, and we get to honor all of that. And I think the beauty of energy and looking at your energy and understanding it and being with it and allowing yourself to clear and honor where your energy is going, what you're doing with your energy, how you're focusing it. It actually shows you who are the right people to be in your life, what you're meant to be doing, how you get to serve yourself first and then others. And that will show you your life's purpose. So I hope you have the most wonderful day, and I really hope you got something from this. I would love for you to share that with me in the comments, what resonated for you, and go follow me on Instagram if you want any more updates of life and all the things. If you would love to receive an energy healing, I have them going to the link on my bio in my Instagram page, my Facebook, all the things. And I would love to be able to serve you and allow you to clear anything that is no longer serving you so that you can move forward in your aligned purpose. I love you. Have an unapologetically wild day, and I'll see you soon.